Hello, Neely. Thank you so much for joining me again.
Yes. Hey, Cindy. Glad to be here. We were just talking before we got on about how long it's been. I think it's been at least a year since I was on. So
At
glad to be
least that
back.
I know we had Harry and Wendy on previous to you, and that was a year in August.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's been about a year.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, it's
Wise.
crazy. I'm gonna go through who's in the chat.
Yeah.
First thing before we even started, Bonnie Sherwood. We'll
Hi,
have to
Bonnie.
run, so we'll check back. But do you know much about sucralose as far as it affecting your microbiome? And thanks. Right
Yeah.
off the
So,
bat, you got questions.
yeah. I do not know a lot about it. I haven't really gone into depth researching it for myself. But what I have learned, and primarily from Chris Bear of Keto Chow, is that the amount of sucralose that you actually need to make something sweet, like a keto chow, for example, is extremely, extremely small. It's like a really tiny, tiny little pinprick of an amount. And the studies that have been done that show a possible issue with affecting the microbiome in a negative way were done in animals, not humans. And it was done with an incredibly large amount of sucralose, uh, considering the size of the animal they were testing. So it's like you would have to eat, I don't remember the amount. And I know Keto Chow does have a blog post about it. So check that out if you want more info. But you'd have to eat so much sucralose in order to get to the amount that these, I think, rats were that had this negative effect. And so for myself personally, I'm not worried about it. I think it's a small enough amount that I'm not concerned. But it's one of those things where I don't really know 100% for sure. Maybe, in 5 years, I'll find out that it was doing something terrible in my body and then I'll cut it out. That's a possibility. But as it stands right now, I just don't have enough reason to be really concerned about it. And then also, I don't make it a huge part of my diet either. Usually, if I'm wanting to sweeten with something that's, sugar free, I'll use stevia, which I like, or allulose, I really like. So sucralose, I don't mind having it here and there, but I'm not, having it 3 times a day or anything.
All right. I mean, even Joe and Rachel, they talk about how you need a very small amount of sucralose
Yeah.
because it's so powerful.
Yeah.
They
And
talk
I
about
just,
that all the
I
time.
find it hard to believe that tiny amount is really going to wreak all this havoc on the gut. I don't know, but it's one of those like common sense intuition type things where I'm just like, I don't have the bandwidth to worry about it. If
Right.
that's
And
the amount of
we'll
that is
just
going to
get
hurt me, then I probably am
we'll
consuming
just
something else that's hurting me worse.
right. We'll just get this disclaimer out there. We're not medical professionals. Everything is what we have gone through or what we've been told or what we've heard.
Yes,
Nothing
absolutely. No
medical.
medical advice given here.
That's right. No. Sherry, Nevada Pup. Hello. Welcome, Neely.
Yep.
Karen from Low Carb Spin. Hi, Cindy and Neely. Happy Friday. Lynn. Hi, Cindy, Neely, and everyone. And Sean saying good evening, all.
Hey.
Everybody's saying hi to everybody.
Yep.
Jeff Holtz, good evening, everyone. And Jeff, you should have had your package, or it's at your daughter's, I should say. I did a couple giveaways, and he was one of the
Oh,
winners.
nice.
Yeah.
I have some giveaways coming up on my channel. A little teaser.
Nice.
My birthday month is April. So I'm thinking I need to get some good giveaways in April.
Yeah. Well, I finally reached I had reached 1,000 subscribers a while back, and I kept saying, I need to do a giveaway. I need to do a giveaway.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
Brian is making cutting boards, and I just had a
Nice.
new logo. So we put it on, he put it on a couple cutting boards, and we gave those away
Oh, that is so cool.
with a
That's
bunch of keto
awesome.
chow and stuff.
Yeah, I love that. I love it
Joe,
when swag is useful. Sometimes,
yes.
we get all this swag and it's like, oh, I don't really need a beer cozy,
Yeah.
but a cutting board, now that's a good one.
Yeah, he does on laser engraver. He does cutting boards and coaster sets
That is really cool.
with either a logo or a saying or whatever on them. They're really nice. So we've been selling those like there for a while. Christmas time, we sold a lot.
Oh, I bet that would make a great gift, especially if you can
Yes,
personalize it. That's awesome.
they're great. This is Joe, as you know. Good evening.
Yep. Rick Wynn.
Andy saying hi. Lynette is here. Oh, man, I miss her.
Yeah.
Hello, all you beautiful people.
She still pops over on our live stream every once in a while. So
Yep.
that's fun to see her.
And John, like Emily says, Guggenheim. I don't even know how to really say his last name. I have no idea. And Miriam's here. Hello, Miriam.
Hi, Miriam.
You guys were just being talked about before we went live.
Yep. Oh yeah, talking about how much fun we had at KetoCon. Was that 2023 KetoCon?
2023. Yeah.
That was so fun. I'm so glad that I went that year. Because last year, Chris and Miriam weren't there. So why would I go if Chris and Miriam aren't going to be there? I mean, Lynette was there, so I guess that would have been worth it. But we were able to make it last year. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm so glad we went that year. That was so fun.
Yes, it was great. Sean saying hi. And Dustin gifted 5 memberships for me. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
I appreciate that. Nearly, I recently added some more carbs into my diet in way of whole food, veg, and I feel so much better and the scale is moving again.
Yes,
yay.
That's awesome. And, it's one of those things where you don't know until you try, kind of like before any of us went keto. You don't know how good you're going to feel until you try it. And then, if you want to play around with the whole food carbs, you don't know until you try it. And keto's always there, if you need to go back to it. But we all are so different. And we can go and find an expert that will tell us anything we want to hear. If we want to justify veganism, we can justify veganism. If we want to justify carnivore, we can justify carnivore with, PhD doctors that are very, very smart. And so it's like you get left with, well, I just have to try it for myself and really see how I feel. And so, it's like self-experimentation is just the key, I think, to
it's like we were talking backstage
with.
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's like we were talking backstage how, I just admire you so much because you've gone through all the health issues and you're now finding something different that's working for you. And you're still having issues with comments and it just blows my mind. I mean, you've been through SIBO and the iron issue, which was crazy.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, I mean, my older sister had problems with her iron, which I had mentioned to you in comments when you started with the infusions and all that. And she went through so many iron infusions for years. My oldest sister.
Rough.
It is. And to know that you've come through that and now you're doing, even though you're not keto, whatever, there's no label. You're being Nili. And you're doing what's working for you.
Yeah.
And if people just like, what?
Yeah. It's hard because I do know that keto is incredibly powerful. It's just an incredibly powerful tool, especially for people with metabolic dysfunction, people who are stuck in the cycle of processed carb food addiction. And keto is just like this savior to people. And when you have had that experience, I totally understand not wanting to listen to anyone say anything negative about it. Even though I'm not trying to be negative about keto, I'm just trying to share my experience. I get that people hear it that way because I'm saying I left keto. And there's the assumption made that I hate keto or that I think no one should do keto. And I'm like, no. It's just a tool, and it's a tool I used for a time, and I'm so glad that I did. Like, it was the right choice for certain seasons in my life, but it's just not a tool that I need anymore. I need a different tool, and I think that that's okay. But I get that some people, they're just really dedicated to the tool of keto because of how incredibly powerful it's been. So I have compassion for that, but at the same time, sometimes I'm just like, can't I just share my story?
Right. And, even for people that are on keto, ketovore, carnivore, whatever spectrum, low carb, and they complain because they're at a stall.
Oh,
You got to keep mixing things up.
yeah.
You have to keep your body guessing what's coming next, because you get stagnant in a spot. My feeling is if you keep on with the same regimen all the time.
Yeah.
It's like anything else in your life, you're going to get bored. Your body's going to get bored and it's just that's it.
Yeah. Well, I think that our bodies are really, really smart, and they do an incredible job of adapting to whatever conditions we put it through. And so, and our bodies don't have the same goals as our brains do, where we're like, I want to just lose weight and look good in my clothes. And the body is like, well, I'm trying to keep you alive. And so when you go on, on a keto diet or a low calorie diet or whatever, change that you make, your body's like, we're going to work double hard to keep you alive. And losing all that fat off of your body is actually, in your body's mind, is making you, less, it's putting you towards death. Because if you just lost it all, you would die. And so your body's like, we're going to keep you alive. You're welcome. And then you're sitting there, kicking and screaming, saying, why, body? Why are you working against me? And the poor body is just like, I got you. I'm keeping you alive.
Yep. It's like, that's why I know for me, I challenge myself every so often. I'll do something different, like the egg fast, or I did 7 days of keto chow one week of nothing but I did shakes, and then I had waffles, and then I had ice cream every day for 7 days.
Did you get sick of it?
I did not.
Oh, wow. I'm impressed.
It's like a 7-day egg fast. I didn't get tired of eggs either.
Wow.
It was like, I can, but you can't get enough protein in with just eggs.
True. Yeah, I did a 3-day keto chow fast one time, and I was craving steak so bad. I was like, I don't want anything else sweet.
Yep. Everybody knows that keto chow is about, in fact, we're having ice cream tonight when this is over. It's like, it's okay.
Yeah. Keto chow is fantastic.
Yes.
Even though I'm not keto anymore, I'm still using my keto chow for the convenience.
Yes. Brenda Foley saying hi. Dustin with a $2 super chat. Thank you. Dawn Cox is here. Hello, everyone. And Lynette says to Dustin, so good to be here. I'm glad you are here. Judy, oh my, I can't stay on live, but we're back for replay. Already hit the like button. Thank you so much, Judy. This is my husband.
Oh,
you got to see him at KetoCon. He was there, and my niece too, with Deb.
Yep.
Donna says, does xylitol negatively affect lactobacillus reuteri or any other beneficial gut bacteria? And I hope I said that right, because
someone will tell you said it wrong, no matter how you say it. So that's a good question. I don't know specifically about xylitol. I know that xylitol is not only used as just a sweetener, but it's also used in like gums and toothpaste, because it actually is really good for the oral microbiome. It breaks up biofilms, and so I don't know how that would affect the gut. There's some ways that people use it to actually break up biofilms in other areas besides just the mouth in order to like get rid of the SIBO and stuff. So I think there is a way to use it in a positive way towards gut health, but I don't know all the details on that one. That would be a good question for Dr. Davis.
Yeah, the only thing I know about that is it's deadly to your dogs.
Yes. Yeah, we don't keep it in the house.
No. Karen says, since you're not going back to SAD diet, will you just be keeping lower carb and in a maintenance mode? Hoping you'll to continue to make lower carb videos that can help others with meal ideas.
Yeah. So I've had some comments of people saying, "Oh, you're just back on the standard American diet." And I kind of had to think about that because the standard American diet, in my opinion, and I don't know if there's an official rule on this, is I don't think it's just a macro breakdown. So I could be eating a diet that has a certain percentage of carbs and a percentage of fat and a percentage of protein that might be the same as someone on the standard American diet. But I wouldn't consider my diet the standard American diet just because it's because of what it's made up of and what it's not made up of. I'm not consuming seed oils. I'm not consuming a lot of processed foods, especially not a lot of ultra processed foods. I eat mostly whole one ingredient foods, that I cook myself. And so it kind of depends on how you define standard American diet. Because if you do define it as just a certain carb break or a certain macro breakdown, maybe I am on the standard American diet. But anyways, that's an aside. I'm on a whole foods diet. I don't even know what diet I'm on. I'm just eating what makes me feel good.
You're on the Nili way of eating.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to rename this Nili's way of eating.
Yeah, the Nili diet, and
That's
no one
it.
else is allowed to do it. It's only I'm not going to be selling any ebooks. I'm not going to, have you join my Nili diet community.
No, that's just sad with all the benefits you've had from already.
Well, everyone has to make up their own diet, and what I eat, probably wouldn't work just the same for everybody else. Like, we're all different. Anyways, but to answer the question, I keep my carbs around 200 total per day these days, and it does vary because I don't count calories, but whenever I do count calories and macros, it ends up being around 200 grams. That's just what makes me feel good, what keeps me satiated, what keeps my cravings under control, the food noise down, all that. So some people might consider that low carb. Some people definitely would not. So it kind of depends on what you mean by low carb, but that's where I'm keeping it, these days. And the thing I like to point out when people say things like, "Oh, I miss your recipes. I miss your keto meal ideas," and all that, I just think I'm still eating all of the same things. Like, if you go back and look at most of the same things. If you go back and look at my what I eat in a day videos, like all of those foods I'm still eating. I just have a few others in addition. So it's not like I went from carnivore to vegan where every single food on my plate is a different food. My diet is still very familiar. I just have the addition of maybe some potatoes or maybe some rice or some squash or sweet potatoes. But I'm still eating the steak and the cheese and the, bacon and eggs and all those same things. That's still what I really base my diet on. So I totally get that when people are coming to YouTube, they're coming for a specific type of content. And if you're wanting really strict, I only want to see keto foods on your plate, then I totally get that my channel may not be the channel for them long term. And that's totally fine. I subscribe and unsubscribe from channels all the time on YouTube. And that's just the nature of it. And so I don't fault anybody for saying, "Oh, she's not really for me anymore. I'm really just looking for keto recipes." That's totally fine. But what I will say is that I will be getting back into the kitchen more with my content. I've struggled with finding time to have dedicated kitchen videos recently, but I'm really hoping to do that more soon, hopefully over the summer. And I think what I have to offer will still be applicable to people on a keto diet, maybe not as much on a very strict carnivore diet, but I think, I just make so many of the same main dishes that I used to because the main dishes are keto, I just might have a little bit of squash next to it on my plate, So maybe I'll say, give me a chance. If you're really just wanting keto, maybe try out watching a few of my what I eat in a day videos and kitchen videos. And then if you decide that, I'm not giving enough value, that's totally, totally fine. Yeah, hopefully you'll still be able to get some meal ideas and different things like that.
Absolutely. And you better never unsubscribe to me. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, that only applies to me. You can unsubscribe from me, but please don't unsubscribe from Cindy.
I don't see why anybody would want to unsubscribe from you either.
Well, thank you.
Your content is great. Your kids are fantastic.
They are pretty good.
Your story all the way through, from battling SIBO, battling the iron stuff, and where you are today, it's all so interesting. I can't, people just drive me crazy. That's
yeah. And honestly, I think that a lot of the negative comments come from people who've never really watched my channel before. It's the videos that, tend to hit the algorithm just right and get more views. Then I get the negative comments from people. And I think it's just people that it pops up on their feed and they think I'm just trying to bash keto and they just have to come in and give their 2 cents and,
But what makes no sense, what makes no sense, like in mine, your name on your YouTube does not even mention keto, ketovore, carnivore, anything.
Yeah.
Which is why I left my name.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put myself, and Steve, actually, I had reached out to Steve from Serious Keto one day. I asked him a question on a comment and he replied. And he said, don't put yourself in a corner like I did with my channel name, Serious Keto.
Yeah.
And he says, make sure you lock down a website with your name or what have you. And it was a third thing, and I can't remember what that one was, because that first one made so much sense to me, because I had thought about changing it. And I'm like, no, not gonna, because this way it's mine. I can do whatever I want. If I want to post pictures of the sunset outside, because it's beautiful here.
Yeah.
Or, family stuff, whatever, it don't matter.
I got some comments from people saying, how dare you say anything negative about keto when your channel only blew up because of keto. And like, that's the reason people watch you is because of keto. And I'm like, well, my channel's been around for 14 years. I think more than 10 years. And I've only been sharing about keto for 3 or 4. And, really it's just people that don't really know, and I get it. There's not a lot of people who have been watching me for my entire YouTube journey. And that's totally fine. But I laugh when they say things as if they do know. And I'm sitting here like, you have no idea.
Right.
And, I have intentionally made my channel, I've done YouTube all wrong, is like the thing that I always like to come back to, is because you're supposed to, on YouTube, pick a genre, pick a type of content and just stick to it. And if you do that, YouTube will promote your videos a lot more, and you'll keep your subscribers because they subscribe for a specific reason. And I have never done that. I have, changed focus many times depending on what I'm interested in, depending on what's going on in my life. And that's really the only way I can keep up with a YouTube channel, because I have enough going on that I can't just manufacture the same kind of content all the time through, 10 years of my life, when my life doesn't look anywhere near the same as it did 10 years ago.
Right.
It's completely different. So it's like, the only way I can make this work is just to share what I have, going on at any given time. And the people that it connects with, awesome. And if it doesn't connect with people, that's why they made the unsubscribe button.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, if anybody doesn't connect with you, it's because they've never got to meet you.
Mm,
And I feel honored that I did when you
that
were
was
at KetoCon. It was like, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. That was so fun. And it's always great to put faces to names because we can get to know people through the live chats and get to know their names and their little tiny profile pictures. But when you actually get to see people and give them a hug, it's like, it just takes it to the next level. So
It
I love it.
does.
Yeah.
It's great. Blaze is here, says hi. Lynette, they're just talking amongst themselves. This is Rick from Twin Brook Acres. Hello, all. Can't stay. I'm having a meal at my friend's pub. He popped on our live Wednesday night that I do with Brian, and he had just totaled his truck.
Oh,
It was
no.
an accident. So I've been wondering how he's doing. I might have to message him when I get out. He said he was really sore that day, and it was the day of the accident.
Yeah, that's no good.
Hopefully you're good, Rick. But message me later. We'll need to figure a KPL replacement. I need a 3 or 4 day weekend with my people that's not fully about products and speakers.
Yeah. If you could just bring that over to the West Coast, that'd be great.
Yeah. We're actually going to, and we've decided, so if anybody's in here from Florida, we are going to the Florida meetup May 3rd.
Oh, nice.
Brian and I, we're going to drive out that Friday, which is leaving early because we have to bowl Thursday night. And it's like Friday, it's like driving straight down 75 to get down there.
Are Joe and Rachel going to be there?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea. But, meeting Sarah Joy and Nancy Tanner and Hope and Andy should be there.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Hi, Rick. Hope you're doing okay with everything. Yes. Yes. Enjoy your meal. Here's Deb. Hi, Sin, Neely, and everyone.
Hi,
This
Deb.
is my sister, Deb.
Yep.
You were being talked about backstage, Deb.
Yep.
She remembered meeting you.
All good things. All good things.
Yes. Such a great organizer for an event. You would be too, Lynette.
Oh, yeah. Lynette, you need to put on some keto conferences.
Yeah, some kind of conferences.
I mean, Utah's not that far.
She is amazing. Yeah, Debbie and I are planning on making a trip to Utah at some point.
Oh, fun.
I know. It's like when I saw yours and Lindsay's videos, I'm like, I wanted to be there so bad. It was like,
oh, it was so fun.
It was like a blast.
And then getting our families together, it was so fun.
It looked great.
Amazing trip.
Potato.
I've heard potato is poison. You didn't explode. Just give it time.
And he didn't explode. That's amazing, John. Relax and have a great time with friends, Rick. Yep. Just said James from Ready Set Keto knows how to say John's name. I know how to say it. Well, do tell, because
give us a pronunciation.
Spell it out. John, put it out in phonics so I can read it. I'd have to crowdfund it. It would have to be fully funded before I could make it happen. I'd have to make it affordable and worthwhile. I don't know if Indianapolis is the best place.
Yeah, that would be really hard. Like, it's a lot of money, a lot of work, and to get people to buy in before it's even planned, that would be a big ask.
Right. Now, Dustin, along with Jennifer Lucas and Jackie Smith, they organize a meetup in Indianapolis, or in Amo, Indiana.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Usually twice a year. And you do pay in to go. It's at a community center. Oh. So it's like this year it's $25 a person, but it includes all your meat and everybody brings a dish. And it works great. It works great.
That's awesome.
Lisa Ortega is here. Sorry I'm late. Was making me some hot tea. You're not late. You're right on time. You're good.
Catch up.
Yes. The fast mode is craziness.
Yeah, it is.
To hit 150 grams protein goal with just eggs, you'd need about 2 dozen days. See, I could probably eat that many, but
Oh my God.
not
I
now. They're
have a
too
hard
expensive.
limit with eggs.
Azzy Jude, hello. Hi, everyone. Sherry does not eat steak. No.
It was really eye-opening to eat only sweet foods and realize how, because we think like, oh, if I could just eat cheesecake every day, I'd be so happy, or all the time. And it's your body really will give you signals to have other things. So the times when I did like carnivore without any sweet things, I would crave sweet things and just like, oh, I just need the variety of something sweet. And then when I had only sweet things, I'm like, oh man, some eggs and cheese or some steak would be so good. And it's like my body just really wants the variety of it.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it gets boring after a while. For somebody to say they can eat the same thing day after day after day, now I can do quite a bit of that on occasion. Like I said, if I challenge myself, I can push it.
Yes.
And do it. And usually I don't have any issue with it.
Right.
Just like I've done 72-hour fast.
Oof,
it's easy. When I put my mind to it, it's easy. Yeah. But I really have to put my mind to it. And it's like, hey, this is what you need. You want to do. You don't need to, but you want to.
Yeah.
And I'll just do it. It's like when I started keto, by the time 3 months after Debbie tried to push me into it, tried to get me to start. When I finally made up my mind to do it, I went from sad to absolutely strict 20 grams or less keto overnight.
Wow.
I didn't baby myself into it. And I never had any problems. I never had the keto flu. I never had any of that. So
yeah. When I first went on the Atkins diet when I was 19, I pretty much did the same thing where I did it overnight because I read the Atkins diet book. I was getting ready for my wedding and, wanted to lose that extra weight. And there was a certain way in which it was easy and then another way in which it was hard. It was easy because there was a lot of good food that I could eat. I didn't have to starve myself, but getting off of sugar is one of the hardest things that I ever did. And I just remember like my husband would pour himself a bowl of cereal before bed and sit there and eat it, crunching it. And I'm just like over in the corner sweating, like wanting to eat. So I would have to leave the room. And it's not easy.
No. Yeah. That's why, I am such a chocoholic.
Well, you got
I have Chalk Zero and Keto Chow. Those are my things. And I need to rein it in some, but with the Chalk Zero especially. But
yeah,
that's the way I've made this sustainable for me without going off kilter. Like if I would try potatoes, the next thing would be potato chips and French fries, and I'd be on a spiral because I could do without the potato part, but it's the chips and the fries and all that stuff with potatoes that would send me down a whoo.
Yeah. And that's where you just, have to know yourself and be confident in your own choices. Because it's so easy to to lie to ourselves. Be like, oh, it'll be fine. I'll just have one bite. We've done this before. Is it really going to be just one bite? And so just being honest with yourself. So, and I'm at the place now where I've gotten my gut health taken care of. I've worked through a lot of my nutrient deficiencies. I think that played a lot into cravings and different things. So now, I'm at the place where I can have just one bite or a serving of something and it doesn't send me crazy, but there was certainly a time where that was not the case. And I had to really, recognize that I'm just kind of playing games with myself when I say that, oh, I can just have this one meal and then I'll be back on track.
Yeah, I would. And I know, it's like, I think in 4.5 years that I've done keto now, I'm going on about 4.5 years. I think I might have had 10 French fries from
Wow.
McDonald's when they're fresh.
Wow.
I think and honest to God, and then I feel guilty if I have one or two, and I'm like, oh heck, if I do this, I'm gonna be in trouble. But only when they're hot and they're fresh. Oh, they're so good there.
They are good. The kids, my kids make their own French fries in the air fryer with avocado oil or sometimes tallow, and those are so good. And that's something I feel good about them having. I think it's good for them. But then making it without the seed oils and all of that, I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. And then they eat the protein with it, so it's fine.
And yes, Sherry, xylitol is toxic to animals. Blaze said the same thing, toxic to dogs and cats. Jerry says, hello, knee.
Knee for short.
Hooray, Nili, one of my faves. I'm at lunch now listening and eating for 15 minutes. Sorry to be late. You're good, Jerry. You're good. Easy peasy keto, Stacy. Hello from Northwest Ohio. We're watching you while we eat supper. Ribeye steaks with garlic butter. We do Stacy keto and Ken keto.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah. And I did see that Stacy sees Dr. Cybus.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, he's awesome.
And she has just brought back sweet potatoes by his recommendations.
Wow.
I believe that's how it went. If I'm wrong, Stacy, I'm sure you'll correct me. But I think that's what I read on your post. So, yeah. I'm not even going to try to say it. Anyhow, I think you've achieved metabolic flexibility, which seems like optimal health. The journey you've been on to heal yourself might have been necessary to get where you are.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I do think metabolic flexibility is like a really good goal to have. I think because I've been, going through this and learning a lot of stuff from different people. And I think this is just my opinion at this very moment. A lot of times in the keto and carnivore world, it'll be presented that keto or carnivore makes you metabolically flexible. And I don't know if I agree with that completely. It could maybe contribute to achieving metabolic flexibility, but I think when you are, eating primarily carbohydrates and you're kind of stuck in that sugar burn, moving over to being fat burn 100% maybe is better. Maybe that's a better state to be in. But I wouldn't call it metabolic flexibility. I think metabolic flexibility is the ability to move back and forth, be flexible, and burn carbs, burn fat, go back and forth. And so I think that's one, people say, well, I'm keto, so that means I'm metabolically flexible because I've moved from sugar to fat burning. And I think a lot of people kind of get stuck there and are metabolically inflexible just in a different way. And like I said, maybe that's better than the state they were in before. But I think what I've experienced for myself is that being in a place where I can go have carbs and have fat and kind of go back and forth, it's actually like a even better state than the other two for me. That's just for myself. So I do agree that I think I'm getting there with the metabolic flexibility. And I think that is like a good key or something that shows me that I'm achieving better health, if that makes sense. Like I think that's a good thing.
Oh yeah, considering everything you had been through.
Yeah.
And now your health is so much better.
Yeah. And like I was talking with Debbie I was talking with Cindy before we got on. I got Deb on my brain about how I really think that keto is a really good stepping stone for people. And for some people, it's a good lifestyle and, from here on out, and that's totally fine. But I think for a lot of people, and what I found for myself is that it's a really good stepping stone from a standard American diet where you're just stuck in the processed food loop. and you're kind of in the, if you want to call it carb addiction or processed food addiction mode, it can be really hard to break that. Kind of like I was talking about when I first went on the Atkins diet, where it was just like everything in me was telling me to eat the junk food, and I think keto is a really good choice for breaking that. I think it can be really hard to go from the standard American processed food diet to a whole food diet that has whole food carbs still in it. Some people can do it, but I think it's hard because you don't fully like cut off the sugar and kind of get clean from it first. And so I do think keto is absolutely a great choice for people who really want to do the sobriety thing, where it's just like, no, I need to just completely get that addictive substance, if you want to call it that, out of my life. And then, then you can assess if you want to bring the carbs back. Because like at this point in my journey, if I have a sweet potato, it doesn't make me want to go eat ice cream. Like it's, because some people say like, if I were to eat a sweet potato, the next thing I know, I'm going to be neck deep in Oreos, which I totally get. But now that I've kind of broken that processed food addiction, I can add sweet potato and I don't have that reaction. But if you had, come to me when I was 19 and trying to get off processed food and said, here, go ahead and have a sweet potato, it might have sent me back to whatever sweet treat that I was used to. So I absolutely think that I'm very grateful for the keto diet and for the Atkins diet, which is a keto diet. And I do think that it was a really important tool that I used in my journey. And so I don't regret it at all. And actually, I've been having in my mind that I want to make a video talking about all the positives that I got from the keto diet and why I don't regret having gone on the keto diet. So that might be coming soon.
That would be awesome. Along with some what you eat in a day videos now that you're eating different.
Yeah.
And cooking with your kids because they are just so wonderful.
Yes, they are. Oh, they're great. I've been hesitant about doing what I eat in a day videos, and I know that this is all in my head, but just because I have gotten so many negative comments from people about leaving keto, I still have this thing in my mind when I like show a potato or something on my plate that I'm just like, I'm playing in my mind all of the comments that I'm going to get. And so I've struggled with, being motivated to put that kind of content out, but I know that that's in my head and I need to just move past it because I know that there are a lot of people that are very interested and supportive and, So
all those negative comments are good for the algorithms anyway. So
that's true. And YouTube really does like drama. So maybe I should just stir it up more.
That's it. Some people forget that when we say N=1, it could actually mean something that is not a diet on the keto spectrum.
Ooh.
It's finding what works for us. That's what that's all about.
Yeah. And a lot of people are kind of in a box, whether it be keto or carnivore or vegan or any, other, or like just eating intuitively, and they're just like, no, everything has to fit in this box. And I'm just like, I think our bodies are really adaptable for one thing. I think people are different. There are a lot of ways that we're the same, but I think there's a lot of ways that we're also different. And then we're all on different parts of the journey. So if you were to go back to me 5 years ago or 10 years ago or 15 years ago, I probably would have needed completely different things, not completely different, but different approaches like the Atkins diet back when I was 20. Whereas that wouldn't be what I need right now. And, just being flexible and continuing with the N=1 throughout our whole journey, because things just keep changing, especially for us women.
Right. So Dustin says, have you found you're still maintaining a level of metabolic flexibility? I'm curious, as we regain health, that should be the goal.
I think I am maintaining a level of metabolic flexibility, and I guess the reason that I think that about myself is that I'm eating a lot of food. I've never been an undereater. That's never been my struggle. Um, I've always been, more of an overeater, but I'm at the place where I probably average 2,500 calories a day. Some days it's more. I know that for sure. Some days it's less, around 2,000 or so, but I rarely go below 2,000, I think. I don't, count every day, but I'm eating a lot of food, and I'm eating a really good mix of carbs, protein, and fat. I typically have around 200 grams of carbs per day total. And that includes, starches, even some sugars, fruit, vegetables, things like that. And then I have around 140-ish grams of protein per day, and then usually a little bit under 100 grams of fat per day. So it's not a low-fat diet. It's not a low-carb diet by most standards. It's really balanced, and I'm maintaining my weight really well. So I think that would indicate that I'm metabolically flexible. I also don't have any cravings. Like, my food noise has just gone away. And definitely eating sufficiently helps that. So some people think when you say the food noise goes away or your appetite is under control, it means you can starve yourself and you don't notice. And that's not what I mean when I say that. I mean, I eat an appropriate amount of food and my body is happy with it. Like, I eat it and then I don't have to think about it anymore. So I don't know. I think those are probably signs that I am achieving or have achieved a certain level of metabolic flexibility. I don't have to stay low carb. I don't have to stay low fat in order to, maintain my weight or anything. So, and I do think that regaining health will mean regaining a certain amount of metabolic flexibility. And I recognize that for some people, like, there's a limit. That, some people, they can only get so far in the metabolic flexibility, and they decide that being on the sounds funny, the fat side of metabolic flexibility, and I mean the eating fat, burning fat side of metabolic flexibility is, a better choice for them than trying to add in the carbs, and that's totally fine. But my personal opinion is that our bodies were designed to be able to burn both. And if you can achieve, getting your body to a metabolically healthy state of being able to do that, then that's awesome. But everyone has to do, what's right for their own body. And we live in a world where there's no perfect bodies that function exactly as they're supposed to. And so every one of us has to make adaptations for deficiencies, wherever that is. And so that's going to look different for everybody. So it's great to try to find the perfect diet and think about, if everything in someone's body is working exactly perfectly, this is exactly the diet and lifestyle that we need to live to maintain that. Great. But there's no perfect person. So for each individual person, we could apply the perfect diet. Something's still going to be off. And so then we have to find out what areas that body is deficient in, what areas does it not, function exactly right. And we have to adapt the diet and lifestyle to that. So, so a lot of people, I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent here.
You're good. You're good.
But I love Dr. Barry, and I really love the idea of the proper human diet, the concept of it, not necessarily his specific version, but just the idea that there is a right diet for humans. I do believe that. And I think, and so some people will kind of respond to the N=1 thing and say, oh, everyone's not different. Everyone's a human. So we should feed them a human appropriate diet. And while I agree with that to a certain point, I think all of our bodies, like I said, have certain deficiencies, certain ways in which they are not proper. And so the proper human diet, I'm on a call. Okay, go back downstairs. Levi.
Was that little Levi?
Levi. He didn't know I was up here. Anyways, so we all of our bodies have ways in which our bodies are not proper, and so we might have to make adjustments to whatever that proper human diet is for the ideal person, if that makes sense. That's kind of the way I think about how we're all unique, but then we're all also human, so there are certain things that apply more universally.
Right. It's like it was like with my husband and Paul, Defense Whiz, and it was another girl, Julie Kim, that I had on a couple weeks ago. They're all type 1 diabetics. So,
Yes.
you know, adding in carbs for them is not a good response, you know.
Right.
So when we say finding what works best for you, again, they're not, I mean, they can be healthy, but they're not, you know, they have this thing that's going to
Yeah.
eat at them the rest of their life, and they have to be smart about it.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
that's not the norm, you
Yeah.
know, as far as, you know, most everybody else. But it's
Totally.
sad that
Yeah.
you know, those kind of exceptions
Yeah.
are definitely in there.
But then there's also like so much hope that there are adjustments that can be made. There are so many you know, technological and dietary and all kinds of options for people to try. And that's another thing that I'm really getting excited about the things that we can do in our lifestyle that aren't even related to food.
Right.
Because I focused on food for so long because I was more focused on weight loss, you know, thinking that weight loss was going to bring me health and every good thing in life. And I'm realizing that there are a lot more things than just food that contribute to health. And the food is actually a lot less of a like a smaller piece of the pie than
Right.
I had anticipated. Pie, pun intended. Um,
What
but
kind?
there's so many other things that can have such a profound effect on our bodies besides just the food we eat. And yeah, it's kind of just blowing my mind as I'm learning about that.
Right. No doubt. So back to you saying people unsubbing from you. Jerry said, nope, not me. You have me for life.
Thank you.
Saying hi to Lynn. Deb says, Neely, it's been wonderful watching your children grow up. They are precious. Thank you for all your efforts, recipes, etc.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Yeah, so when I make a, you know, just a regular video, a vlog video, I don't think a lot of it, you know, like this is a keepsake for myself. But then when I go back and look at my vlog videos from 5 years ago, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's like a little time capsule. And I get to see the kids at all the different ages and what I was thinking at the time. And it's fun for me too.
Absolutely. Speaking of your children, your oldest is pregnant.
She is.
When is she due?
She is due in August, the middle of August.
You're
So
gonna be
I
your grandma.
am
You're gonna be your grandma.
yeah, and I am starting to get some gray hairs. It's been really slow. I don't
Oh,
know.
you're good. You're good.
Yeah, I need to look.
Three.
I need to look the part. Actually, I
Yeah.
was joking with Jeff that for Halloween we should dress up as grandma and grandpa, and you know, get walkers and you know, white hair, white wigs, and little spectacles on our noses.
Now, time out here. I am old enough to be your mother. I just became a great grandmother
Oh, congratulations.
3 months ago. So it's like, I have a little bit of gray, not much.
Yeah.
I haven't colored it. Don't do, yeah, you're going to dress up because all grandmas are gray. No.
Yeah. It'd just be funny to show the contrast.
Yes. Carnivore Jerry. Negative Neds and Nellies are naughty. Yes.
True.
And Lynette, absolutely. I'm here for the relationships more than the content. Well, I hope the content is still okay, Lynette.
Yes. I just connect with people. Like I don't do a lot. Well, on certain subjects, I'll just search for information on YouTube. And then, you know, I'm not really wanting to connect with the person necessarily. I just want to learn about whatever it is. But then the vloggers specifically, I connect with them, you know, on a personal level. So there's vloggers that I watch that are vegan and that do all kinds of and that are carnivore and, you know, all different. And it's not because I'm trying to be exactly like them. It's just because I connect with them as a human and I'm interested in watching their journey and seeing what works for them and, you know, what doesn't work for them and how they navigate through life. I just find it fascinating. And I hope people connect with me that way. You know, but if you're just for the keto information, then it may not be for you.
Right. And I would go back to what I said before. I don't understand people coming for you for keto because nowhere in your name does it say keto.
Yeah.
You didn't put yourself in that block.
Yeah.
Like this guy did, keto simple.
Yeah. And it has to be simple too. It can't just only be keto. He can't do anything complex because
he's telling Lynette 100%. Community helps keep me on track. How Nili or Cindy eats does not impact me, but everyone encouraging me is the most important.
Yeah.
I should know this since I do follow you and watch as many of your vids as possible. Why did you stop keto?
Yeah, I actually just put out a video last week answering a comment, and the comment was just, why did you walk away from keto? And so I did a whole video on that. I think it was 20 minutes long. So I probably don't want to go 20 minutes. We've already been almost an hour and I do have to go at the top of the hour, but just, you know, really quick, I was having health issues that were not getting resolved while I was on the keto diet. Now, I'm not saying that the keto diet caused my health issues. And I'm also not saying that going off of keto was the only thing that fixed my health issues. It was just one piece of the puzzle that I decided to play with. And like I said, that video has all the details. I was dealing with a high cortisol issue, and low carb can impact your cortisol. It can be a stressor on the body. And so I decided to, you know, just take that stressor off by adding back in some whole food carbs. And I did that on the recommendation of my coach at the time, which was Jonathan Shane of the Keto Road. And, you know, it just ended up being a piece of the puzzle for me in getting my health back. And now that I have my health back to a certain degree, I feel so much better than I have in so many years. I don't want to change it now. So like I said in the video, maybe I could go back to keto now. Maybe I could have done all the other things that I did while staying keto and I would have gotten to the same place of health that I am now. That's possible, but I don't want to test it, for one thing, because I feel so good. I don't want to mess it up. And second, I love the way I'm eating now. Like, I have dreamed for years as I've dealt with food issues, you know, just struggled with body image, struggled with, you know, feeling like I was addicted to food or I couldn't control myself, or like all these things, all this mess that we get into with food and diet and undernourishment and all of that. I dreamed of a time where I could just eat foods that tasted good and not obsess about it. And that's where I am right now. And I love the food that I'm eating, but I don't think about it all day. I only think about it when I'm hungry. The food noise is gone. And I'm like, all of a sudden I have that and I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to give it up. I'm going to just try to ride this wave as long as I can.
Yep. And Carrie here, the strawberry was told to turn his music down. He said, that's my jam. And I spread it loud.
Oh man, the dad jokes.
Yeah. Dustin, if you could find Nili's video, if you're at a spot where you could do that and link it in here, that would be great for Sherry.
Yeah. It's just
and
called
yourself to watch it.
Walked away from keto, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Actually, I found Nili for her Instant Pot videos. When I bought an Instant Pot, the keto came later. Yep.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is I got some angry comments from people telling me that I needed to go back to Instant Pot videos when I switched over to not as much Instant Pot videos. So no matter what you do, people are going to be upset. Some people will be upset. Some people will be happy. And you just have to learn to roll with it. You can never
Exactly.
make everyone happy, ever.
No. Jerry said, friends here are fabulous. Folks with attitudes, not so much.
Yeah, on one of my recent videos about walking away from keto, it may have been that same one. I got 2 comments. One of them said that keto didn't work for me because I ate too much. The other one said keto didn't work for me because I didn't eat enough. And I thought, well, that leaves me stuck right in the middle.
You ate just enough. That's what it is.
Apparently, they cancel each other out.
Dustin said, I've not met Nili yet. Rude.
If there was a meetup anywhere close to me that I could get to decently, and you didn't come to KetoCon 2023. Where were you?
That's right. Rude. John says, I love watching you and your family on YouTube. So much fun and so sweet. Yes.
Yes.
Rude.
Rude. You didn't even come to the Keto Chow meetup in Utah. I was there too.
Jerry said, keep talking. I got to go back to work, but can only listen now.
I have to run here in just a minute. We have a very important sleepover, and I have to go pick up the sleepover guests for the evening. So
it's just everybody talking about, here we go.
Jealous of getting to hang out with Joe and Rachel.
My name is actually pronounced Gagan, but Emily started saying Googahan.
Googahan.
I would never have gotten Gagan out of that.
Nope.
Thank you, John. Now I know. To raise 100K would need 400 people to say $250 up front with no promise or anything set in stone. Wow.
Yeah. And then you still got to pay for your plane ticket or travel expenses. It's spendy.
Yep. I'm just trying to see if there's any questions real quick. And if they didn't put a thing on here. Whoa, Victor's here. Hey, Cindy.
Hello.
I just popped in to be rude and disrespectful, but then I read your rules. Oh, Victor, you're great.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's a good thing, those rules are there, because otherwise everybody here probably would have been rude and disrespectful.
That's right. Dustin said Southern Keto is a rebel.
My channel, and then maybe it would get rid of the problem.
I didn't even realize that was there, to be honest. So thank you for letting me know.
Funny.
Oh my God, I just received my Saga knife that I won on Chris Cooking Nashville. It was first cut of a pork belly. I cut my finger. Oh my goodness. You got to keep your fingers out of the way, Sherry.
Oh, man.
That's nice. They reached out to me, and I did get a set of knives from them.
Nice.
And did some videos on it. They are fantastic.
Are they?
And yeah, here's Stacy. He suggested half sweet potato with my first meal of the day for my insulin suppression. That really concerns me. That's about 15 carbs a day. So I'll be sure not to eat other carbs.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it is important to recognize, that there can be issues that arise from not having carbs for a long time. What?
Jackie says, you're living the dream, Nili. I'm so happy for you.
I know Jackie personally. We were in a homeschool group together once upon a time.
Nice. How does your family feel about your new eating patterns, Nili? Have you changed how you cook for your family?
I think they are loving it because I'm cooking such yummy food. When you can have nice fatty meat and vegetables and a starch, like, it just tastes good. Like, there's something good about a beef stew that has potatoes in it. Like, I can't explain it, but it's just delicious when you have all of those components on a plate. And, not that keto cooking isn't good. It is good. There are ways to make it delicious, but there's just something about adding the potatoes in there that is just satisfying in a certain way. So I think my family's pretty happy with it. been adding more things in, because before, when I would make like a main dish, it would be keto friendly. And then if they had carbs, they had it on the side. Now I'm making, like the stews where everything's all mixed together, or, I made a stir fry with organic rice noodles last night for dinner. Everybody loved that. And so it's like, there's just more variety, I think. And I think they love it. I love it.
Probably so. Carol King says, hi, thanks for answering my question yesterday, Nili. And just to say, your channel is awesome for encouragement and inspiration. I totally agree, Carol.
Thank you.
And Jeff, have you checked your ketones since you changed?
I have not. I don't really see a reason to, because I'm certain it will be 0. I don't expect any ketones. And even when I was on keto, typically on my regular keto, my ketones would run around like 0.3. Like, they were always very low. I was never one that had high ketones. I did do some experiments with the continuous ketone monitor, and I have videos on that if you're curious about it. And so I did find some ways to get my ketones up a little bit higher, like the keto chow fast for sure did it, and the egg fast did it, and the sardine fast definitely did it. But that's the only way I could get my ketones higher. And none of those ways of eating are ways that I would ever do long term. And so I just, I don't see any reason to test ketones when I know they're going to be 0.
Deb said, congrats on becoming a grandmother.
I'm so excited.
I bet. I'll tell you, when I found out I was going to be a great grandmother, I was like, what?
That's crazy. No, you're way too young for that.
Thank you. My Arutari coconut milk fermentation, it gets moldy and still watery after 48 hours. What am I doing wrong?
I would look at what temperature you're actually at, because if it's not the right temperature, it might not, it might just be rotting instead of actually fermenting correctly. That's all I can think of. And the coconut milk yogurt doesn't get thick as much as the regular. And so the fact that it's watery is not concerning. And Dr. Davis has you add gelatin or guar gum in order to actually make it thick like a yogurt. So if you're not adding those things, then I would expect it to be watery. And then maybe it's just molding because you've left it for a full 48 hours. I don't know. Those are my guesses.
Okay. Charlie, thank you so much. And thank Dustin for that. I really appreciate it. Karen says, do you intermittent fast? Do you eat 2 or 3 meals a day?
I do not intermittent fast. I typically eat 3 meals a day, occasionally another snack in there somewhere. I experimented with intermittent fasting for so many years, and I tried so hard to make intermittent fasting work, because there was always the, like, it corrects your appetite and, like all the promises that you get. And I just never found that to be true for myself. And I would just be so hungry. And when I had my continuous ketone monitor on, actually, I tried to do a 24-hour fast, because I was curious to see what my ketones would do. And by like hour 23, my ketones had not risen at all. And I think it takes super long for me to get into a deeper state of ketosis. And I just suffer until I get there. And so I hate it. Like, I do not like intermittent fasting. There was a time where I did, I think I did like a 3-hour eating window, and I did that for a full month. And I was like holding on to the promise that my body would get used to it and I'd eventually be not hungry. And I was like, after a month, I was like, I hate this. And I am still hungry every single day, and I'm done. So I tried, I gave it my best shot, but I just can't. And I found with that continuous ketone monitor, it was way more effective for me to get my ketones up by eating the sardine fast or the egg fast or the keto chow fast. That was more effective at getting my ketones higher faster than full on fasting.
Okay, we have this one and then one more question, and that's all we're going to take. Do you have a POV on nitrates in bacon gammon?
Do
I
you
don't
know
even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. So I am not too concerned about nitrates in processed meats. And primarily the reason for that is there are typically more nitrates in vegetables than you're going to get in any processed meats. So processed meats have their own issues. Some people say that they're not great for your health overall for certain reasons. But in my opinion, the nitrates don't score very high for me on on something to be concerned about. And you can get nitrate free bacon, but they just add celery powder to it, and that provides natural nitrates, so they can say nitrate free. So all in all, I don't worry about it at all. I don't base my diet on processed meats. I don't think they're bad in moderation, but I wouldn't ever go on a 100% processed meat diet, um, for a lot of reasons, not just for the nitrates. But my own personal opinion is I don't worry about it. But I do have a friend who gets migraine headaches from nitrates, and so he has to be really, really careful uh, to not consume them at all. So I know that they can be an issue for some people, but for us, we don't worry about it.
Right. Arden is here. Hello. And Karen has, what did you do to lower your cortisol?
Well, it's kind of complicated because I was in a state of hyperthyroidism at the time. So hyperthyroidism, and that was induced by over iodine supplementation. I was on the bandwagon of everyone needs iodine and we're all deficient. And so you need to take a bunch of iodine. And if you take more than your body needs, your body will flush it out. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Turns out that was not the case for me. And my body went into a hyperthyroid state because of the excess iodine I was consuming. And hyperthyroid is where everything in your body is on overdrive. Your heart rate goes up. You get hot and sweaty, and you can't sleep. And so it's a really high cortisol state to be in. So I definitely don't want to, make people think that keto was the thing that made my cortisol like the main thing. The main thing was the hyperthyroidism. And as I was working on getting that under control, I wanted to reduce any other things that, might be contributing to any cortisol. So that's one of the reasons that I added the carbs back in. So I got the hyperthyroid under control. That was the main thing that I did to address the high cortisol. And that involved getting on a medication for a time until I brought it down. And then I was able to wean off the medication, and, my thyroid is functioning just fine right now. So that was the main thing. And then I can only guess what adding in carbs and not being in a state of ketosis now, I can only, imagine that that's contributing to a lower state of cortisol, but I don't really know because I don't have like I wasn't testing cortisol really often before the hyperthyroid state.
So Donna says to you, grandmother, I figured that you had very young children yourself.
Well,
she does.
Yeah, my youngest son will turn 7 in May. So yeah, we still have all the kid stuff and the grandbaby stuff now. So I feel like, two separate worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Little Levi's going to make the best little uncle.
Isn't that funny? Uncle Levi. He asked me, he said, does that mean I'm going to be the boss of the baby? Like, well, not exactly.
I'm telling you, this
You
child.
Influence though.
Why does the celery come with a no added nitrates label?
It could. They aren't added.
So anyway, I think I got through everything that people weren't talking amongst themselves. And I appreciate that. And Nili, I can't thank you enough for joining me again. We'll have to do this again sometime. This is great because you are absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad to be here, and I'm so thankful that you haven't completely written me off because I've quit keto.
Never, never, ever. Like I said, the people that do, they don't know what they're doing. That's,
I hope they start their own YouTube channels to share with the world, what's working for them.
Mhm. Yeah. So they can get all the negative comments.
Uh,
Oh man. I think the worst, no, I can't say that. The first negative comment I got, and I was just starting my channel, and I was like, really, what am I going to do? This person said, "Nobody cares, Grandma." And I said, "Thank you," and wrote him off. And it
uh,
was like
well, you just, you have 1,000 subscribers now, so apparently 1,000 people care. So
11:20
obviously I'm
now.
true. Yeah.
11:20. Debbie said, "Wonderful discussion, ladies. Thank you. Next time, maybe you'll join us, Deb."
Oh, that would be fun.
Yes. Nan came late. Will replay. Yes, ma'am. And
Not
I
really
mailed
so
your
well.
package out this morning. So, all right.
All
Thank
right.
you again, Neely.
Yep.
Enjoy your sleepover.
Oh, we definitely will. Well, I'll be sleeping. They probably won't be sleeping.
Yeah, I have no doubt. Which one's having a sleepover?
Oh, yeah.
Which one of the kids is
Oh,
having a sleepover?
two girls, Talia and Charity are having friends over. We have friends that have sisters that are the same age, and so
Nice.
it works
Nice.
out really well.
You're going to have a full house.
Oh, yes. Always. Always.
That's what's going to keep you young.
Oh, I think so. Yeah. It better.
That, and I mean, you're busy too. You're with the
Yeah.
farm and your workouts and everything else. And God, again, thank you.
Yes.
Have a great night. Everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us. Thanks to all my members. I appreciate everybody. It's like I say it all the time, this community is the best of the best.
Oh, yeah.
That's
They really
so
are.
on that note, everybody have a great night. I will be back on Wednesday with Brian. And at some point, we'll get Neely back here.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.